Bring back that beat, DJ. That was my crooner's version of the Bring Back That Beat, DJ.
That was your Michael Bublé.
Yeah.
All right, we're back again with another great episode of the FourCast. And coming to you tonight, Wilkes will be here in a little bit. He said he's running a tad bit late. But myself, Doc, H-Rap, and Wilkes, like I said, will be here. And we're coming to you tonight with Wakanda Forever, Black Panther 2, quote unquote. And we're going to answer the question, is Wakanda Forever better than the first Black Panther? Obviously, when you come out with a sequel, you expect it to be at the level or better. And we're definitely going to tap into that tonight, talk about, is it true to the comic book? Is it true to the comics? And Wilkes is going to be able to tap in on that. I think A-Trap probably be able to tap in on that as well. But A-Trap, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm streaming on the end of the bench.
Yeah, they did add that feature. Yeah.
Oh, that's what's
cool.
up.
I'm glad you did.
Where you can kind of, what do they call that? Simulcast?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Basically, you can add your own.
It says, do you want to stream on your platform? I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, they just big shout out real quick. Big round of applause to StreamYard. They're adding a lot more features. They added where you can customize the layout. They've also added the feature of what A-Trap is using tonight. So StreamYard is continuing to evolve, and I'm glad that our platforms are on there. So shout out to them. Doc, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. And since you're giving a shout out to a corporation that is not sponsoring us, let me give a shout out to a corporation that has sponsored us in the past and needs to sponsor us again. The original recovery drink, Gatorade. No shade to water, the original recovery drink, but you are the original man-made recovery drink. Let's just say that. And no shade to that water that Jesus turned into wine. But Gatorade, if you're listening, it's time. Come on back home. We need you again. Here we got some bills to pay. These taxes are certain. So come help us out.
Holla at us.
Here's to you, Gatorade.
This water is sponsored by Alfred. Thank you, Alfred.
All right, let's get to the chat here. We got Keisha in the building. Said, good evening, fellas. Where's Wilkes? He will be here shortly.
Low.
A.K.A. The Realist. A.K.A. Keisha. All right, we got
Mama call her Keisha. I'm going to call her Keisha. The mama call her Keisha. I'm going to call her Keisha.
LaShawn, that's another one.
There you go, LaShawn. That's another one.
All right, Kirby Alexander, thank you for tuning in. Vanita, appreciate you for tuning in. You actually tuned in to the pregame show we did, one of the Stars pregame shows. So we appreciate your continued support. Big Mo in the building. I was on.
That Vanita's home slice, so I think we got another LaShawn in the building as well. So, we got a Keisha LaShawn and a Vanita LaShawn. LaShawn must have been a popular name about. I ain't gonna say how many years ago because they may not be ready for that. But
give a range about 20 to 40. I started the low end 20 to 40. Big Mo, thank you for tuning in. I was on Wrap It Up on Sunday. Make sure to check that out on YouTube. They do a great job.
Maurice Nesbitt got an athlete name, don't it? That's the kind of name you want to have if you're a running back or something for the Indianapolis Colts or some shit like that.
Yeah. It sounded like he was on some sport movie, like The Program or something like that. We may have to do that one, man. That was
that could be a throwback. Oh, I'd love to do that as a throwback, no doubt.
Water to Wine. Yes.
Wasn't that one with what's the cat name that played on that? Help me,
Omar Epps.
That's right, Omar Epps. Yeah.
It's fake Florida State.
Right. They all emphasize the same
wasn't
colors.
James Conn the coach or something like that?
James Conn.
Boy, look at that. These memories. Hey, ladies, if you're paying attention, hey, the memories are still sharp, and the same thing that control the memories control the heart. There you go. Something
right. Yeah, that's the word we were looking for. We need to say 25 years ago. Keisha said 47 years ago.
See, I ain't gonna say nothing, but I was on this something.
I'm just gonna give him range. That's it.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get into some initial thoughts here. It was, obviously the
hang on. Let's set this right first, because I think this was an accident. Let's set that right. There we go.
It's good.
Let's set that right. Let's put you in the pilot seat like you're supposed to be.
Before I get
Matter
into
of fact, let's go. I want to be down here where Wilkes normally be. So when he get here, I want to be down there. Shit. Let's get A-Trap the co-pilot seat today, so I can act a fool. I feel like if I ain't in the co-pilot seat, I can kind of clown a little bit more. I ain't got to worry about the controls and shit like that.
You normally give us a description.
I got it. I got it. So for those of you who are not familiar with it, I'm going to give a plot. It may give some names and that type of thing. So the plot for Black Panther 2, Wakanda Forever, is Queen Ramonda, who was, of course, played by Angela Bassett. Courtney B. Vance is the old lady. Shuri Mbaku Okoye and the Dora Milaje fight to protect their nation from intervening world powers in the wake of King T'Challa's death. As the Wakandans strive to embrace their next chapter, the heroes must band together with Nakia and Everett Ross to forge a new path for their beloved kingdom. Now, Nakia, to remind you, because some of you may not just be hip to the character names, but Nakia is the one that was King T'Challa's, which is Chadwick Boseman's character. That was his love interest from Black Panther 1. They had a little, that kind of little sexual tension and whatnot, right? Mm-hmm. So that's who she is. And an important thing to say, as far as I'm concerned, is that vibranium is what's at the center. Okay, that's what when they say to protect their land, they're not just trying to take their land, they're trying to take their resources. And I got a bit of a commentary about that later too. Yeah. And I'm sure A-Trap will tag team nicely with me on that.
Yeah. Their most powerful resource, which we'll get into that because that's already happened.
Yeah.
All right, so. Initial thoughts. There was a period between the first Black Panther and the second one. It was highly, it was highly touted. We got Wilkes in the building. How you doing tonight?
Howdy.
What's going on, man?
Boy.
It took you a little longer. It took.
And you spelled it right.
It took you a little longer to get your drink fixed, man, or what?
No, I was already logged in, and I tried to enter the studio, and then there was an update for, of course, one of my apps on the computer, and then the mouse stopped working, and then my mom called. I was like,
you can go on and say it. Pornhub had your virus out there. I know it happens from time to time.
Now I put that on the phone.
Yeah. Well, just in case you're a little confused about the layout, because you see me down here in the slums with you today, so I put A-Trap in the top. I said I want to be in the slums with Wilkes when he comes, so I can clown today a little bit more.
I can show out.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. So the period between it, I felt like was. It was a little long. I mean, obviously the first one was great, so everybody was waiting on the second one. And I think obviously what threw a lot of things off. Rest in peace, Chadwick Boseman. That threw some things off. They had to revamp some things. But big shout out to Ryan Coogler, and he directed this second one as well. Awesome director. So big shout out to him. But yeah, my initial thoughts was I really couldn't wait. I think we went opening weekend because we had a little bit of FOMO. We didn't want to be the ones, at work or at wherever. And so y'all see it? No, we ain't seen it yet. Don't tell me nothing. So we went to go see it opening weekend, and it lived up. It lived up to the hype.
Wow.
All right. But what Keisha comment? Hey, we on vacay.
I barely have hair. I've been on vacay.
Barely.
But barely. I got an 18-hole right here.
I know a pastor that I used to have that had the exact same hairstyle. Didn't it be?
Yep.
Exact same hairstyle.
I got the same look too. What's up, DJ Knox in the building? CJ,
me and A-Trap, our mamas made real good food when we was growing up, so that's why I had.
Well, mine missing, so yeah, it's good. Yeah.
All right, so A-Trap, initial
I mean,
thoughts.
I thought it was dope. I'm like you, it was kind of long, man. I ain't. Well, I ruined it for myself actually. Before I watched it, I didn't want. I don't go. I rarely go to the movies because I'm the type of dude. If you put me in a room alone in the dark, I'm going to sleep. But
Right.
so I don't go to the movies a lot.
Yeah.
But I make the mistake of looking at how long it was, so I realized how long it was. But if I don't think if I would have just watched it, I don't think I would have acknowledged it,
Yeah.
the length of the movie.
Yeah,
But I
think
made
that's
the
very
mistake.
well
But
said.
I thought it was an excellent movie, man. I do my best. You know, I know it's natural to compare, but I do my very best to enjoy the movie for what it is. I never go, is it as good as the last one? Because it's a different story. You know, it's in addition to, but it's a different
Right.
story. It's you know, like the original Superman. It was introduced the introduction to Superman, and then he came back. It was the introduction of the criminals.
No,
We
I'm
didn't say-
waiting. Trust me, I'm waiting.
We didn't say the name.
But it was just, you know, it was a dope. It was dope. I mean, that's just plain and simple, dope movie. I'm glad I saw it. I wish I would have seen it at the movies.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch it again too.
Let me tag
not-
just a little bit off of what A-Trap said, because he said a couple of key points that I want to hit on. I'm gonna start with the dark room. He goes, if you put me in a dark room with, by alone, I'm gonna fall asleep. Well, for me, I'm about the same. Put me in a dark room alone, I'm gonna fall asleep unless it's a bottle of lotion there. I might do something else first, then I'm gonna fall asleep.
Then you go to sleep.
And then in terms of the length of the movie, so Ben was talking about how long it was in between the first one and the second one.
Oh, that's what you meant. I'm sorry, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And so
the period
I
between the
want,
first
but no,
one.
your point was valid though, A-Trap. So as to Ben's point, I think sometimes for a film that is coming out with a sequel, sometimes that can work to their advantage to build up anticipation.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't necessarily lend to whether the movie is going to be worse or better. It just leads up to the anticipation. So maybe your opening night box office numbers may be a little bit better, something like that, right? And in terms of the feature length, that A-Trap was talking about, that is a little longer than what you would expect, 2 hours and 43 minutes runtime. However, it passes by so quickly, you don't feel it.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think the most important thing is that we're telling a story of a completely different character. Like we haven't seen, I don't think we've seen Namor on screen before. So they had to tell his backstory. And I saw, which I felt like they did a great job at. But Dark, anything else you wanted to add? Initial thoughts?
No, I think that, tag teaming off what you had to say and A-Trap had to say. I am one other thing about A-Trap's reaction, because for A-Trap to say he thought it was an excellent movie, A-Trap this is not hyperbole. This dude is not necessarily I'm not going to say Marvel, but that superhero kind of.
Oh, no. I am.
Oh, you are? Okay. I
nerd.
thought in the past you had said you wasn't necessarily with those. It's
I don't like DC. I don't like DC. Superman.
Okay, that's it. Okay,
DC
got you. So I was surprised that A-Trap had that kind of reaction to it. I wasn't expecting that. So.
Yeah. Shout out to Chief Rocker in the building. Thank you for tuning in.
What's up, Chief? Just Joe in the building.
Just Joe. Yep. Chief was gonna say something. Dawg's on the bottom of the squad tonight.
See, I
he
gave
cut that
it up,
ponytail
baby.
off, so he lost some power.
Yeah.
All right, Wilkes.
I thought it was done pretty good. I mean, Marvel, I don't know why these superhero movies, whether it's DC or Marvel, they have to be so long, almost 3 hours or right at 3 hours. But yeah, it was done. I really liked the introduction to Namor, having him on there, or kind of the way they worked him in, because even in the comic books, the Wakanda in his empire or city, they worked together actually eventually, and of course they fought a little bit, but then they kind of came to terms that they realized, we're not each other's enemy, we have a bigger situation. So, but other than that, no, I thought it was done well. I like to see the costumes. I like how they worked in some of the Mayan, Aztec kind of background.
Very impressive with that.
I love that they didn't change their dialect. They let them speak with the accents. They didn't have them trying to change the way they spoke. and that more of their language, and even with the Wakandans, their language was in these movies. So I enjoyed it.
A couple of more things being so I don't because that's feature length we've talked more about that today maybe than any other episode. I don't necessarily have an issue when a movie is long, right? As long as it's a good movie. Okay. I don't care how long you want it to be, just don't waste my time. Make sure you're making wise use of the time, right? For instance, and for the ladies that are in the chat room and whatnot, you can comment on this as well. Vanita, Keisha, and if there's anybody else that we don't know that's there watching, I'd like to hear your opinion on it. But I know women don't have a problem with it because they ask to sit and watch a Lifetime movie to where you leave and go to the hardware store, go pick up some chicken, go drop off some money at your mama house, go to a movie, come home, and that same movie that was on when your ass left is still on. So I know they don't have a problem with feature length or any other length.
I knew it was coming.
Hey, I'm a professional, so I got to set up some stuff sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
I'm on that, Mo. I'm on that, Mo. I'm on top of that.
On the making of the film was dope too. Yeah, I don't know if I've seen.
Oh, really? I had no.
They did a documentary.
Where is that?
I think they did. I think they name
Disney
it like
Plus.
Wakanda or something like that. Or Return to Wakanda or something like that.
Yeah, and Disney Plus, they did a great job of getting it on there. I don't think it took that long for maybe it was a couple months.
It didn't.
I mean, I think in today's time, COVID pretty much did this. But in today's time, a movie it's not going to be going to DVD. Or if it does, the DVD is probably going to be longer, but it's going to go straight to streaming. Within a couple months. So yeah,
absolutely
cool. It's on Disney Plus. All right, so I watched this probably twice. I didn't take any notes because I already watched it twice. So if I'm a little bit out of order as far as the timeline, y'all.
No, I think it's good when we just chop it up naturally anyway, as opposed to just trying to go scene by scene or whatever. Now, what I will say, because I didn't hear everybody else's take, I know that. Ben, you watched it in the theater. H-Rap, you did not. You watched it on TV. Now, did you just watch it for this review, or had you seen it a few weeks ago?
No, I waited.
Me too. Okay, good. So you and I are in the same boat. What about you, Wilkes? When did you watch it?
I want to say I think I started late February or whenever. When did it release? Didn't it release late February, early March?
Got me.
It was probably February.
Okay, so I watched it when it. Yeah, I watched it when it released. But I mean, it released on Friday. I think maybe a few days later. But then I watched it again for the show to get a refresher recap.
And almost every Lifetime movie. The lady getting
you get you a good nap,
ran over, or something. Man. Something about
you
that.
Get you the burning bed, some shit like that.
I ain't watching that. I ain't watching that.
When you wake up, it's going. You didn't miss nothing. It's gonna pick back up.
Catch right back up. Yeah,
yep,
you'll catch right back up.
You didn't miss nothing.
Yeah.
I like how they opened up the movie, which was and hold on, let's back up. Angela Bassett should have won something for this movie. Period.
Yeah. So did y'all hear? Did y'all hear about her reaction? That's big news out there. So as I was
saw
researching,
her face immediately. I didn't. I haven't heard anything else after that. But looking at her face, So it's two takes out there. Okay, and those takes are, one of them is like, it's so refreshing to see some human emotion at an award show to show exactly what you really feel, as opposed to feigning fake excitement about your competition beating your ass. They're like, it's refreshing, and if you don't know Angela Bassett, she gets the auntie name from the community, and for you to get the auntie or uncle name from the community, that tells you that you've been embraced by the community. Now let's get this name back up there, because I just noticed Wilkes' name too. So Keisha, I know where it comes from, but Keisha needs an explanation, sir. So in the movie, when Namor descends to the throne, which is the mouth of a megalodon shark, he takes the throne, and that's how it's Rise Talokan. So it's pretty much he's telling his city, his people to rise up. So it's Liki Talokan.
Yeah,
it's how it's pronounced.
But
yeah. So now, did you hear this? Now this is commentary you're not gonna get from just anywhere. Okay, this dude showed you what the throne was. Now I didn't watch this movie sober as a gopher, and I ain't seen no doggone megalodon shark mouth or no shit like that.
That's where the greeting comes from, because that's what the throne is made out of. It's made out of the megalodon shark mouth, so it's open like that. That's how they greet each other.
Vanita, we could get to this next comment. Vanita said she woke up pregnant.
God,
that's a real title. She ain't lying.
That's a real title.
Yeah,
she ain't lying. Hey, that's a real title.
Yeah, but who knows Steve and Lauren? Because whoever know him and that's close to him, I need y'all to give him a high five, because this is some insight right here. Ben, go ahead, read that.
He said, so it's a movie about a place with a shield to keep anyone not that race out. The bad guy is South American and breaks in by crossing a river, and, and the way to defeat him is to dry him off wetback racist.
Oh, what a funny comment and some insight, bro. I'm mad I didn't think of that, Stephen. Hell, that's so good.
Well, I mean, I didn't think of it that way.
Yeah.
I didn't think of it that way, but I looked at it like, oh, well, we back to people stealing shit when they ain't supposed to be stealing it.
Oh, I can try to save that, because I got something on that. Save that.
You want to take it and use it in the wrong fashion. I was like,
Right.
Oh, and hey, on the entrance, Ben, I thought you were going to go somewhere because you were saying, let's back up. I want to show where it started, but then you got off on Angela Bassett.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I thought was dope about the way it started is when they were coming out with the Marvel thing going across the screen, it had Chad Boseman's images all in the Marvel. I thought that was super, super, super cool.
Yeah, they pay respect to him.
Yeah, and then of course the way that the entrance of the Queen, Angela Bassett's character, way she came in the United Nations, how dope and how royal she came in there. Oh, I thought that was live too.
Yeah.
And that just showed her power. Number one, but number two, it just showed that she walked in and just ruled it, and they didn't say anything. They didn't say anything. They didn't say, they didn't have nothing to say.
I think those moments are significant because it's all the things you've had to hear throughout the past, and how not dignified and how not well Black people act.
There you go. That's good. Yeah.
How we speak, or we don't carry ourselves, or we're supposed to present ourselves this way. Well, we can do whatever shade you want, but what you're not going to catch us doing is, to the point of you're not going to, if I'm especially, I know who I am. You're afraid of me because you don't know who I am, but I'm going to be who I am.
That's what's up,
right?
And I'm going to represent that. And I think every time we see a movie like this, I hate that I missed the review of The Woman King, but I just get a sense of there's a lot of pride there. There's a lot of chance to channel the ancestors. There's a lot of reconnecting. And I just want to jump in. I know this isn't the review, but was that the slave port in the distance on The Woman King? Was that that's what I was thinking when I watched that. But those certain things just connect them. I mean, when they wear the garb and they wear the clothing of that country, of their ancestors, that country, that nation. I mean, there's a sense like when you're watching it, like this is more than acting. This is like I'm trying to send a message.
That's what's up, man.
This is more than acting. Like hell, even with them, honoring Chadwick Boseman, it was like these are real emotions. This isn't. I'm not making myself cry. Maybe some of these scenes I am, but we've lost some special part of this. But we also get a chance to honor, our ancestors and these lands and these and these clothings and royalness. So it's a sense of something there that I've noticed.
Well, there are, to tag off of you, Will, there are certain terms and phraseology that we kind of overuse sometime in the community when it gets popular response, like self-care, right?
Yeah.
Well, unapologetically is one of those terms that's borderline overused, but she was unapologetically herself, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And I can respect it, right? And so I kind of made a note about Angela Bassett's, and I put on my note said, Angela Bassett's fucking acting, OMG. And then, so of course, those of you who don't know, she was nominated for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. But when I say they lost their minds about her disappointed face. And so some of the commentary said, you would swear Angela Bassett got up and said, fuck the Oscars, the way these people were carrying on. They said at least everyone gets to see the magnitude, and I thought this was huge, in which Black women are expected to perform and how their every emotion is policed. Decades in, and she's not even allowed to fight back tears, said one political commentary. And that's, hey,
that's real.
We want to talk about deep. So when we talk about the FourCast, if you don't know us, a lot of times we watch these movies just simply to start these conversations. And you got, and a shout out to H-Rap, shout out to Wilkes. When I say some of the deepest, dopest brothers when it comes to conversation like this, we really don't give a damn about the movie at the end of the day. We want to talk about stuff, right? And the movie is just the catalyst. It's the conduit to that, So the treatment of Black women is another one that, hey, man, it didn't necessarily happen in the movie because the way they treat Black women in the movie is very high, right? Even one of the elders in the Wakandan tribe or whatever they're called, I can't remember. But one of the elders is female, right? And you saw her from the first one and this one. So they, and in the way Princess, and she's the one that's doing all the stuff, and Princess Nuri, I think is her name, right? Shuri. And so I think they show proper reverence to women, which to H-Rap's point lines up with what the culture did back in the day anyway. What we're doing is a man-made facade on how the hierarchy should work. So listen to me right now. When I'm telling you, in a lot of ways, we out of order with the way we treat our women and not give them the reverence that they deserve, right?
Absolutely.
And I think us as a people, period, it is frowned upon when we show any type of emotion. When we cry or if we get frustrated, it's like you shouldn't show that.
Right.
But everybody else could be crying, flipping over tables, and it's all good.
Oh, they're just emotionally disturbed.
Yeah, they're just emotionally disturbed. Yeah.
I'm telling you, I have to say real quick. I mean, that part where she was reading them their rights, the French government and the American government, like she read a whole laundry list. Yeah. And like, you want to talk about me? Yeah. I can't help to think that she didn't channel some Angela Davis there in just the United States, period. Yeah. Like I can't help but to think that she did not speak beyond that. Yeah. Like, you want to label me lazy or not coming to the rescue or not being or lending my resources.
Yeah. And hopefully the documentary will go into some of that, Wilkes, to see how they got from point A to point B. Right. And when we talk about the women and them getting muted, so to speak, on being allowed to show their emotions, let me just remind you of Serena Williams. Right. And getting such backlash for just showing her emotions, and whatnot. So yeah, I think that's a huge deal, man. And in fact, Angela Bassett even showed her emotions here whenever she took the head of the guard. I forget her.
Yeah.
When she when she fired her after losing the queen, when I say her acting there and when the general began begging for a chance to retrieve the princess after she lost her, she did such a fantastic job acting right there, man. That shit was emotional for me, man. She was like, don't put me out. Hey, it's shades of Officer and the Gentleman when he goes, I got nowhere else to go. I got nothing else.
I got a special comment for you. Ma'am, I don't know if you read this over to the side.
What?
Yeah, that was hilarious. Licky titty.
I figured it was gonna be something like that. Licky titty. That's not what it says.
Big Mo said, "Watch Woman King 3 times." Yes, she killed it too. The scene with Michael B. Jordan was heavy. Man, that scene. And when you were watching it in the movie, because you were wondering, okay, is Killmonger going to be in this at any point? And it kind of seemed like he wasn't going to be in it. And then when he showed up, I felt like that was a great moment, and that just showed her pain because she was pissed off. She was angry, and that was that side of her, when
and I love the
Killmonger came out.
struggle there that they illustrate between being more like little cousin, right? Or my big cousin, or being more like my brother, big brother. I love that internal struggle that they show. And speaking of whether somebody was going to make an appearance or not, how about Daniel Coulier's absence?
I was not expecting
a lot of
that.
people talked about that, and they said the reason why he was not there is because technically he had committed treason in the first one, so he's been banished.
Oh, okay. I don't remember that part.
No, he in jail. He didn't get banished. He's incarcerated.
Oh, and in real life, nigga?
No, in the movie.
Okay.
In the movie, fool. No, because remember, it was one point in the movie when she was firing her, she was like, they were sticking up for the general. And they was like, look, she pulled a sword on her husband. And she said, the same husband she can go visit when she want to.
Oh, gotcha.
Right. Yeah. I didn't get what that was aimed at. But
She was like, look, I lost everything.
Right.
Only thing she knew she had was she was afraid to expose. Clearly, I'm saying this in hindsight. She knew she had a grandson, but I'm not telling y'all about my grandson because then it jeopardizes him. I lost everything. That she didn't say I lost everything. She said, look at what I've lost.
Look at what I've lost.
She never said I lost everything because that lets you know. I know my grandson is over there. And one thing I really appreciated about this is the way they pronounce Hayati.
Yeah, Hayati.
That's right.
That's right. They pronounce it correctly. It is not Haiti. It's Hayati. That's what it's just little subtleties that really made me purely enjoy this.
Yeah, and respect.
And like Wilkes, to comment on one more thing, Will said, it was the point of no return that you saw in Woman.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
This is an interesting comment here.
It is. Yeah, he said, I don't like the title of Black Panther for these movies because it takes away from the non-fictional group.
Oh, gotcha.
They're the exact same age.
Until you read that out, I didn't understand where he was going with it, but now I got you. Okay.
Well, I can agree with that, and that and how it can be confusing, and it is. But now I will say this, and it's not going to make any hill of beans about it, but the Black Panther actually was named after the Black Panther Party. That was that's where the name actually obviously originated from, because there is actually a comic book out there where he is fighting the KKK.
The KKK.
Yeah, they created him for that. He was like they took the name and molded him into a mascot, I guess, a superhero figure, I guess, if you will. So he is to represent the Black struggle, I guess.
Yeah. See, I didn't know that. I didn't even know that, but I was going to say to myself, well, there are some similarities anyway in who he is, what he represents, what his character's about, and what the nonfiction group is about. Yeah. So I think it's a nice little tie-in.
Right. And just like I said, with Magneto and Xavier, they're modeled after Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, but it's just one of those things that, they did in Marvel. It's one thing I don't know if DC's ever really did this, but the one thing I can say about Marvel, Marvel has always kind of implemented real situations, real issues that are going on. I mean, look at the X-Men. The X-Men are pretty much, it's about racism. It's segregation.
I give you this one. See,
it's like the humans don't like the mutants because they don't understand the mutants.
Right.
Magneto's trying to
understand.
Yeah. Magneto being like Malcolm X is saying, "Hey, Charles, enough is enough of the talking conversation. We need action. We need to fight back because these people are trying to wipe us out." So it's always based on those issues.
Hey, Craig Kong dropping some messages in here.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
And I was gonna say also, just shout out to Craig Kong, also known as CJ for the family. He's got at least one. I don't know if he sent us 2 videos yet, but he's got at least one of his videos on BS3 Network on our Roku TV channel as well. So go check that out. Another CJ, I don't know if you sent me another time or not, but if it's not another time that is uploaded, go to Spotify and check out Craig Kong and check out Another Time and watch how my young nephew getting down, man. He bad with it.
Nice.
He bad with
Nice.
it. Because the dude is intelligent, okay?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about he's intelligent, okay?
Right,
Which you can
right.
see with his comments, okay?
Mhm.
But it shows through in his music, man.
Nice, nice.
He said in real life, Ninja.
Oh, God.
hey, Joe, I'm on one today, man. That's why I wanted to be downstairs in the basement with Wilkes. I didn't want to be up there because you got to act a certain way to be up there. That's why H-Rap is sitting all refined and stuff because he know he upstairs today.
Yeah.
Shout out to Shaka Strong.
Best work in the basement.
He's a big comic book Marvel guy. He says in the comic book, the Panther God had questioned Shuri commitment while on the ancestral plane. In the MCU, the scene with Killmonger was good.
Okay,
it was good because we knew what Killmonger stood for,
right?
And she was not expecting to see Killmonger. So I think that scene was a surprise to me. I don't know.
I didn't expect how he was going to be implemented into it, but I feel like it was needed because she was surprised, because it's one of those things where
that's right, man.
This has always been in me, so let me manifest this thing.
I love it
because this is what I've been struggling with. So now what I've been struggling with has been a manifestation of itself.
Yeah. Why are you here? You called me here. You wanted me to be.
I'm that subconscious.
You know, I'm
the person on the left shoulder.
I love it. And I'm telling you right now, already in this episode, 36 minutes in, I'm willing to bet you're getting some meat out of this program that you're not getting out of any other review of this movie, right? And another one is that internal struggle, man, that we all face, right? We all got that whole, you know, am I finna go? If I'm finna go left on these jokers and let them have what you asking for, you know what I'm saying? Because really, I mean, think about it. The guy holding the pit bull back with the chain and he trying to get out them. Ain't in a lot of ways that's how we live life every day. We just on the chain. Nigga, if I get off this chain, y'all ain't gonna like this beast that's right here. I'm trying to do this shit the right way, you know, and let you see beast mode control. But don't turn the beast mode into non-control because you ain't gonna like it.
Right.
Yeah. So in that scene, who A-Trap, were you expecting her to see Killmonger, or what was your expectation?
Kinda. Because it ties into what y'all said about Angela Bassett, right? Let's take it back to the Oscars. She's criticized for being disappointed. I'm gonna add a little caveat to this. I saw her, and I always mess up the young lady's name. She just had a baby named Kiki. I don't know if it's Palmer or Wyatt. I don't know which one it is.
Do you love me? It was
Kiki from Chicago.
Kiki? No. Okay.
Chicago Kiki.
Kiki Palmer, yeah.
Kiki Palmer. She did an interview with Kiki Palmer recently, and she mentioned, you know, the trope is make sure you get an Oscar, because when you get an Oscar, then you're on your way. Or you get nominated, then that's just equally you're equally validated. But Angela said that she didn't get a job. You know, she got nominated for What's Love Got to Do It. She didn't get another job for 18 months. And this and so when you fast forward it 30 years and see her disappointment, she's not afraid that she's not gonna get another job, but she's like, and then the whole world criticizes her for being disappointed and showing it on her face, right? Goes back to Doc's point. Wilk's point. We can't even show our disappointment without being criticized.
Man,
so when Yuri was, her mother's dead,
right?
Her brother's dead, her father was killed by Claw. These people have infiltrated my country. I'm going to my cousin.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, but then it was like, no, that's exactly where you go.
Right. That's what she needed. That's what she needed at that moment.
That's what she needed. Yeah. You know,
because peace talks was off the table.
Ain't nothing peaceful about this. My father tried to be peaceful with y'all. Y'all
right. And what I mean by that internal peace talk is off the table. I can't reason with myself anymore after this.
No, I ain't clear-headed anymore.
Yeah.
My father tried to be peaceful with y'all, with the world. They blew him up.
Right.
My brother died from some mysterious illness. My mother was just drowned for no reason at all.
Trying to save somebody she didn't know.
Trying to save somebody from your world.
Right.
And I'm not even hating on the young lady.
Yeah.
But I'm mad at y'all. And guess what? Hey, when I'm angry, I'm turning to the man. And I mean, it was like, wow. And then it was like, oh yeah, that is the only option.
Oh yeah. The peace talk. That's why I said inner peace talks is over with. I can't reason with myself at that point.
Right. And I love how they at the beginning, how she was more so focused on trying to save her brother. She was working on that elixir or potion or whatever you want, or the leaf.
The Black Panther potion.
Right, exactly. And everybody's like, look, you need to get to your brother. You don't have that much time. And she's like, I'm gonna get there when I get this done so I can save him.
Right.
And I felt like that was a great piece to have in there, because obviously we know what happened to Chadwick Boseman, but you had to put it in the movie somehow. Yeah. And I felt like they did a great job with that. So again, shout out to Ryan Coogler. Did an amazing job, and everybody else involved.
Yeah.
Now I wanted to get to the point.
Well, before you go forward, Ben, is anybody? Was it me, or am I reaching, or did anybody see it this way? This is a perfect segue to bring the Panther back, because she finally created the substance that will heal any and everyone. So is he dead, or is he put on ice like when M'Baku had him? Because remember, in the initial blood was dead. M'Baku preserved him.
Put him on ice.
Did Yuri preserve him as well? And then bam,
I seen this story that came out, an article that came out saying I think it said Idris Elba could play Black Panther, and a lot of people were like, well, you got people playing, but I think there definitely can be someone to play Black Panther. They could go multiple ways with this, because you got the son too. I mean, they can fast forward this thing, and he could be.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they can definitely take up the mantle.
Because as somebody mentioned in the MCU, Killmonger died 3 times in the comic.
Oh yeah,
Killmonger actually becomes Black Panther at one point.
He does.
So I said, no, not in the movie, dog. In the comic, he's actually takes on the mantra of Panther.
Yeah, it happens. It's possible they can do it.
Yeah, she wanted revenge. He wanted revenge. They both had similar reasons in taking the mantle of Black Panther. Great point. I didn't expect seeing him, although after his words, it was made sense why he came.
Because I think Atraf's point is great. I think let me say this: people have brought superheroes back with less, you know what I'm saying, after death than this. I think this would be easily explained.
Oh
absolutely. They can do it.
Yeah. And I mean, they have all the capabilities. Like Atraf said, she created the Black Panther potion, because remember it got burned by Killmonger. So she basically recreated it. So
from the leaves too.
That's right. That's right. And so to a certain extent, that dude, the Namor, unknowingly really gave the thing that was going to defeat them later. You follow me? By giving that bracelet.
Now, when they were on that ship, and the Namor and his people,
ship, by the way, badass ship.
Namor and his people coming on there. When I first heard this sound and they just walking off, I was a little bit confused, because I'm like, what? Who is this? What is this? I feel like that was a great intro to him, to Namor and his people. And then I was like, there's no way they're beating them. I mean, like you can't. I didn't think that. I thought this was going to be.
There's no way around it.
Yeah, I thought this was going to be like Avengers. Well, basically they had part 1 and part 2. Part 1, everybody died, and Thanos won. And then maybe it was going to do a part 2, because I didn't see any way possible they could defeat these guys. So that opening scene with the people walking off the ship, I felt like that was probably one of the best scenes in the movie. Thoughts? I'll open it up to y'all.
When I saw that, for the first time I was watching it, I'm thinking, man, what are they gonna do against these sirens? I mean, they literally singing, and these people are like walking off the edge of the ship, and it's like, of course, once again, you're in a place you're not supposed to be, because you're looking for my resources to use it against me and use it against for world domination or whatever. So it's like any means necessary. I gotta stay, because if I can't trust you with it, how can I allow you to mine it and sell it to other countries? Because all you're gonna do is just make a profit off it.
Right.
The movie is deeper than what it It's what
Yeah.
it is.
Oh, another
Yeah.
piece that I don't think y'all paid attention. Well, y'all may have noticed, but I noticed it stood out right to me is that you had black people and brown people,
Yes.
both with the same agenda, protecting our resources.
Right.
You know, and so again, I think this is just as good a time as any to get into that because I said a note that I wrote down for myself. I said this is still about the killing of people like us for our resources.
Right.
Always has been, always will be. They are still killing. We are still dying. The difference is the knives cut with the dull end, the guns fire in silence, the poison is delivered in beautiful, sustainable packaging. The resources are mines. They are still killing us. We are still dying along with our resources.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, Oh, no, I was going to say no, but that scene, I didn't know how they were going to kind of get out of that one, how they were going to weave that one. But yeah, go ahead, H-Ray.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything y'all said. And the beautiful part is it explains the Mayan, it explains the evacuation of the Mayan tombs. The Mayan tombs are Afro-Mexicans, which people are starting to discover as of announced as of recently.
Right.
Everybody who's ever opened a book realizes that, and they realize that Prince King Mansa Musa is a Mayan, and he walked his behind back home. But that's neither here nor there, and that's what ties the brown people into the African nation. That's why it is a Pan-African diaspora. That's why the largest percentage of Africans on Earth out of the continent is in Brazil, because our people walked the entire Earth before anybody else did. Right. And it just lets you know that our brothers to the north of us, meaning European brothers, y'all is just genetically recessive, but y'all still are cousins. Just let people know.
So that they touched on that, like the Mayan connection with Africans and stuff like that in the movie that I'm not Kanye, but Kyrie took such heat about. What's that? What was the name of that title? Hebrews to Negroes. Yeah, they touched on that in that as well. Yeah.
I mean, people were in an uproar about that. Like, what are you so bothered?
Yeah, I mean, see, the thing is, when you come to world domination, once you tell the truth, that's why the erasing of the history is paramount. That's why people like Governor Ron DeSantis on that nonsense that he's on, because once you announce the history, you have to denounce this nationalism and supremacist nature.
And then there's a fear that comes up because it's like, oh, you're writing me out. Where's my place? I don't have a place. Hell, you've taken every place. What do you mean?
Yeah, you've had every place. What do you mean? What? Yeah, what do you mean?
To be honest with you guys, they've actually had no place.
No, they haven't.
They've stole it. That's how they got it.
That's the thing. They are angry because they do have that recessive gene. But all you have to realize is, and I'm being facetious, if you the milkman, baby, you still my cousin. Your mother is still my aunt. You just the milkman, baby. And white brothers and sisters, y'all the milkman, baby. Y'all just light in there, everybody. We got your mama born the milkman. He white, and now you light skin. You still cool. You still at the cookout.
Sorry about that, bro.
Go to the cookout, man. Don't bring them damn raisins though.
No raisins.
No raisins.
Get stomped out.
Unless it's an oatmeal.
Or cookies.
My man.
You can do that too.
Shaka, cinnamon on that.
Yeah. Right. And this, to Shaka's point, this is the greatness of Marvel. This is the difference between Marvel and DC. Marvel they have so many lanes that they can go.
Oh, absolutely.
Movies to the end of time because they're all connected. They're connected to the comic books, but also the way that they do it, you can make multiple films.
And they're going to be very
start a new Batman over and over and over again. Like we already know the story. We know
you keep restarting Batman.
We stop doing it.
We know he's rich.
Right.
Like show something else. Like there's more villains.
They only had 8 characters though. So,
right.
But you know what? Like as you stated, this can go on into perpetuity. The beautiful part about it is this. Like I was talking to somebody earlier today. This set the pace.
Right.
Because M'Baku, we forget that at the end. I know I'm jumping ahead. M'Baku challenged for the Black Panther. Right. That opened the door for Killmonger to come back.
He did. Yeah.
Because that's how Killmonger becomes the Black Panther, because he's going to have to take M'Baku down. Watch. Because Siri can't.
Nah.
In the comic, M'Baku was 9 feet tall. Of course, he
Right.
ain't no 9 feet tall, 9 foot tall humans or no brothers running around here.
Shit, the nigga 7'8" here. Hey,
yeah, but but she can't deal with that. But manga can.
Yeah, that's fascinating.
Big Mo said, "Did you catch Trevor Noah as the voice for Shuri?" I did not.
I didn't think to look into that. I didn't.
I did not. Wow, that's a fun fact.
And again, that's the beauty. And even though you weren't here last week, Wilkes, that's the beauty in this and Woman Queen. Woman King. Mm-hmm. He used a lot of the native brothers.
Yes.
He used a lot of the Africans in both films.
It did. And to H-Rap's point, the soundtrack now is a lot of African also some Mayan. And that soundtrack is.
I got 3 cuts off the soundtrack, man.
Yeah,
it's for 3 different playlists too. One of them is that playlist. So they rock some smooth joints on that.
They came with it.
They gave you the whole package. They gave you the soundtrack, the music during the movie. It fit with the culture. And my dad was actually telling me they maybe this is in the documentary, but they went behind the clothing of the Mayan people. Each piece of it, what the colors mean.
Get it right. If you have a moment to represent a nation, people, I mean, what better way to do it than Latin, Afro-American, and then Afro?
But just think about that, though. Think about how many other cultures, if they got a movie like this that is supposed to be all about their culture, would not give a nod to another culture or the tie-in. If that doesn't say who we are as a people, nothing will, man.
Because the crazy thing is, it's like that, the slave, and I could be speaking out of terms, and I'm just speaking from what was in front of me, but the slave trade set that in motion. Afro-Latins, I mean, it's one of those things where it's like, we're watching ancient Mayans, but on the other side of the continent, we also have the ancient Africans they have their empires and their resources, and the Mayans have their empires and their resources. Then eventually those cultures come together and they create and they bloom and they blossom. So it's like, it was awesome watching that. Yeah. I mean, even when he painted the picture of the Black Panther and himself, the mural at the end, I was just like,
the gods gave these cultures this gift for a reason, and not you. It's the reason why you got to steal it, and they was giving it.
Right.
Because you don't understand it. And you feel like, oh, well, I'll use it better if you just let me take it. No, it's not.
Sell it to us. Well, will you sell it to us?
Right.
Well, your money ain't worth nothing to us. It ain't about money. Matter of fact, hey, I got news for you. And Ben will tell you, and some folks in the chat room will tell you, the hours I put in between companies and this, but I'm telling you right now, we wasn't created to be working no 9 to 5, no doggone way.
Oh no,
that's not how societies were supposed to be set up. No way.
No, not at all.
That's a creation, so they can get this money train rolling for them.
Right, for them, yeah.
Caste system,
servitude, life, and it wasn't supposed to be that way.
And to Wilk's point about the picture, what it's called is meta-nature, and we loosely call it hieroglyphics. Meta-nature is the shapes and images that are stamped into the pyramids. Those images, like when you go to the Nile Valley, those images of the Mayans are on the pyramids. So while people think it started in 1492 and in 1514 with Pope Julius and these guys, it's been 200,000 years old.
Right.
This is 200,000 years old.
Like, so who let you in the party?
Right. Like I told you, it's the milkman, man. He's the milkman.
Exactly.
You still a cousin though, white boy.
Hey, man, they come with you. Right. Exactly.
Shout out to Omar Phillips.
It's my man Slick.
North side in the building. So I wanted to touch on Namor when he pulled up on shore. That was the biggest gangster move.
That boy pulled up.
Since Thanos. Because Thanos just came on like, look, I'm just gonna crush y'all.
I got time.
Y'all can't do nothing. With the fact how he just pulled up like that, you knew he was real. You knew it was real, and he wasn't playing.
Right.
So I felt like that was a dope scene, and I don't know how he. I mean, obviously, he probably swam underneath and got past all the security and all of that, but I felt like that was another dope way to introduce him, and I hope he's in a lot more films, which I believe he will be, because I think it was a great character for this movie. I don't think they could have did it any better with any other.
No, I love
villain.
the character. Yeah. No, it was awesome.
Yeah, I think it was dope as well. I mean, and then I agree with you, Ben. They will bring him in other movies because remember, as he was speaking to Yuri, he let her know he was a mutant. Only reason you let him know that he's a mutant is to make a connection to further his story.
Right. And Wilkes, I wanted you to touch on something that we talked about at work. You were talking about how powerful Namor was, and how they kind of dumbed him down a little bit.
Yeah, they really kind of dialed him down in this one because I mean he has his strength is equal or surpasses the Incredible Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's actually pretty strong. Like I mean, this dude has destroyed Thor with his own hammer. I mean, it's like it's one of those things where they definitely dialed him back, and I like it. I know why they have to do it. I mean, you don't want, but you got to have some kind of fight. He's got to destroy some stuff. He can't be a pushover. So he's got to be the badass that he really is, So, they definitely, I mean, in the comic books, I mean, he's lifting like submarines up over his head out of the water, like in the air. I mean, this dude is ridiculously strong, but, and the way they just introduced him, to the ears, to the eye. I mean, it's different from the comic. But that's okay because I love the direction that they went in. I loved how they established this. It was just history again, pretty much relinking these cultures together. The comic doesn't really do that, but they get into Namor, or as he says, Namor. Great. I love the character. I've always been, interested in that character. Which now this opens the door for the X-Men. I don't know if the Illuminati will work because they're missing Tony Stark, but. He's one of the Illuminati that kind of rockets the Hulk off the planet because he's going crazy. So
is Beyonce gonna be in the dance? The Illuminati?
No, not Jay-Z and Beyonce in this one.
Hey, speaking of Illuminati, I figured out how Namor got to Wakanda. El Chapo gave him a tunnel.
Niki Talokan.
Namor is the true anti-hero.
Yeah. He's one of those guys where like, look, I'll help you, but don't step on my shit. Okay.
Right. Don't cross me.
Exactly.
Else we come to your city again and we gonna drown all y'all.
To Shaka's point, when he was talking to Namora, he explained that. He's like, look, the Wakandans are strong people, but when they need help, they're going to turn to us, and we're going to have them as allies.
Yeah.
Now, if they cross us, then they'll get a taste of what happened. Even though she said, they could have destroyed me, but they didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use that as a building block. We're having mutual respect for each other, and we can go forward.
But them underwater sirens or sonic, whatever they did, as far as I'm concerned, even though they destroyed the ones that they had, that's still a weapon that can be used in future. Though now we just know we only had 3 that day or 1 that day. Next time we're gonna bring 17 of these. You know what I'm saying?
Right? Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, and we go back to Nakia, who was in the film. Now, I think one thing that I probably disagreed with is her getting past all the security just to end up in the tunnel to rescue. I know she has some experience rescuing people, but the power of that city and Namor and his people.
Well,
I don't know. I didn't think that was believable.
Remember, so this ties into one of the notes that I said. I said, food makes friends again. When Nakia met with the little Mayan lady in the village or whatever. So you don't know what game she put on, to be able to get her where, because that was her entire point of trying to talk to her, right? Is to try to figure out, hey, where is she? What do I need to do? So again, I felt like they left a little bit for your interpretation there to say, okay, maybe she got the game from her,
And to Shaka's point, yes, they did. I forgot they did introduce them there. That's why I said it won't work now. I mean, unless that was I don't think it was a future parallel universe, but I mean they can't really. They probably won't revisit that because that was a part of the Civil War anyway, which I don't think they'll go back to that.
Yeah. All right. It's about that time in the show. You ready?
Shit, I stay ready. What you talking about?
Beauty of the week.
The FourCast as we talk about the beauty of the week this week. Some may think that there were several choices. Again, Angela Bassett being auntie, she's somebody fine in every community. We got to we got to find auntie somewhere, don't we? Right?
Oh yes.
So some may think it's Angela Bassett. Some may think you go with the princess. Some may think you go with what was her name? The new chick, the college chick.
Lionheart.
Lionheart.
Yeah.
Lionheart
That's
is
man
another
Williams
movie,
from Chicago.
Man. Yeah, that's another movie.
Yeah,
that's Mel Gibson, man. I will find you or some shit like. Oh, that's Braveheart.
Too many hearts.
From the Highlands.
It's too many damn hearts out there, ain't it? Kevin Hart, Braveheart, Lionheart. They have too many.
All those hearts.
Heart to heart.
Heart to heart, yeah.
So, but again, when you talk about the culture of our people and whatnot, shit, when it comes right down to it, your beauty of the week got to be Nakia, man. I got to give it to her. They say the blacker the berry, the sweeter the wine. I got to give it to her, man. She was wearing one of these outfits, man, on screen. And when she was, I think she
running.
Can I do this, Will? Can I do this? Can I do this? All right? Get your own segment in. Yeah, she was running across screen, man, and a couple of outfits, and I'm like, God, Nakia, I didn't know you had the junk in your trunk like that, girl.
She got that.
You should have said something, So yeah, I just think, man, this personifies. You talking about, our culture, man. You talking about our African ancestry, man, and I don't think anybody personifies it better than this chick. And hey, I'll even give it to some of the soldiers, man. That are there, and like Okoye and some of them other chicks in that little, I can't remember what that army is called, but some of them is some bad jokers too,
Yeah.
But when it comes to beauty, class, and hell, the Black Panther himself, King T'Challa himself, told you how bad she is because he's knocking it off and sending it to Haiti, however you pronounce it.
Tahiti.
It's Tahiti. Hiding it is so good. So yeah, I got to give it to our girl here, Lupita Nyong'o. Hey, and Lupita, if you're watching this, I don't know if you know Tim's or not, but tell Tim's because y'all from the same continent somewhere. If you cross paths at some kind of award show or something, just tell Tim's, call me. I got a question about her music.
Yeah,
sure.
She got a song on the soundtrack.
Yeah, and we're gonna have to tell her to stop wearing them big ass hats to award shows too. Y'all didn't catch that.
I didn't catch that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
Tim's wore a big old hat to the Grammys and got.
I didn't see it. I didn't see her at the Grammys.
Well, it was made into her dress.
Oh, she was sitting in front of the people.
Her dress. And they say the people behind her ain't seen shit at the Grammys.
That's right.
I'm like, shit, you ain't never been to a black church on Easter day and shit, because we ain't never been able to see on Easter.
You're not seeing
just listen to the word.
Yeah, that's an funeral. You gotta wait till Easter.
Yeah,
First Sunday.
You gotta wait till he's pass the love offer.
Oh, you know what? You know what? Okay, I forgot to mention this about Lupita, man. Do you know she is actually Kenyan Mexican? She's not all African, you know.
Really?
So
Yeah,
No,
so
her family moved to Mexico. They moved to Mexico. She's African, but she moved to Mexico.
No, she is listed as Kenyan Mexican. So her heritage, and she wants to include that in her heritage. I can't remember. I started to write this particular piece of it, Dan.
I don't know where I saw that at, but
and she's actually one. She's much more accomplished than I thought she was, man. I only remember her initially from Black Panther, but she's got a lot. In fact, she has an Academy Award. She's been nominated for 2 Primetime Emmy Awards and a Tony Award. So she is accomplished, man.
Yeah, see, I know she did a Broadway. She did a Broadway play.
Yeah,
a Tony Award.
I thought her family just moved to Mexico.
No, I'm finna. I think one of her parents.
One of her parents,
Mexican heritage.
Oh, it was her mom. I thought because the dad was like some kind of scientist, wasn't he, or something, or diplomat? He was a politician.
Yeah, I think I've heard something that he was a scientist or a politician.
He was definitely a diplomat.
Clap that Calocan.
No, she was born in Mexico City, man. That's why she, so from a blood standpoint, she's all.
Yeah, that's what I said. I knew I would have.
But that's why she's Mexican Kenyan. Is because she's got Mexican citizenship since that's where she was born in Mexico City. So that means you want to talk about the best of both worlds. Man, she can get with you.
Clap that Calocan.
Wow.
Yes.
Big One says Eternals and Avengers Endgames touched on Neymar.
I forgot about the Eternals because it was kind of sleepy to me, but it was important.
Yeah, that was.
I hate that they didn't have young Thanos in there. How you gonna have Eternals and not young Thanos? I was like, really?
Yeah, I think that was one of the COVID. That was probably a COVID movie, wasn't it? Probably it was like 2020, 2021.
That was. I felt like that one was straight to the stream.
Yeah, they kind of slid that one in on the slide. The movie also touched on the debate science versus spiritual religion from the beginning to the end of the movie. Well balanced,
absolutely.
In my opinion.
That movie, I'm telling you, these movies are deeper than what if you.
Oh yeah.
It's just like that's just like when we watched Nope. I had to watch that. Watch it differently. I couldn't watch it like, what the hell is that? I couldn't watch it like, oh, this is what the hell are they talking about? I had to watch it like, oh, wow, I wonder who caught that because it's like you have to watch it to expect the unexpected.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, you're gonna miss the point they're trying to drive.
Right. And Stan Lee. Let's go.
Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, my friend.
Yeah, man. Stan Lee, I think it took courage for him because during the time when it started, I don't know this for fact, but I'm sure there was a lot of division. Definitely during that time so for him to say we're gonna do Black Panther, we're gonna do more films.
And then we're gonna base the X-Men on the civil rights movement. Like seriously, I mean,
shout out to Stan Lee. And he always put himself in the movie at some point, which I feel like that.
What's Stanley's last name?
I was gonna say Stanley Vacuum.
Shout out to Theodora Blue Streak Freak. Thank you for tuning in. Shaka says last point. And man, keep dropping comments, man. I knew this was a show right up your alley.
You add to it, man.
Yeah, he said last point. World of Wakanda introduced 2 of 3 smartest females in the MCU, Shuri and Riri, and also in the MCU Disney Plus comic book, also a black girl named Moon Girl. Yeah, my daughter actually has watched a couple of those episodes. So yeah, that's dope.
It's big stuff.
Moon Girl and Double Dinosaur.
That's the one thing I can say about Marvel and Disney, but definitely Marvel. They're not afraid to incorporate what they see.
What actually goes on.
Yeah, like we don't just draw and digitize comics. We try to incorporate what the world is going through and what they're dealing with. What are the aspects of it? Yeah. I think Marvel has always been big about that. I mean, I can go back to Spider-Man comic books in the 80s that would implement those things. I mean, it was just it was always self-conscious of what was going on.
Yep.
Yeah.
When he was molested, that was super dope.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. No, Marvel was always. I
Marvel
thought
been on top of it, man.
Yeah.
Spider-Man was molested.
That's one of the reasons he was living with Aunt May and
That's the part they don't tell you.
Yeah, that's the part they don't tell you.
Yeah, I did not know that.
That's how he became. He was molested by a spider.
No.
Yeah. So what happened was the spider wrapped his web around his pee-pee, and then he like
went up his butt.
Because they say spiders. They say the numbers of spiders that actually crawl into your mouth at night is higher than people think.
No, that was typo. That was penises.
Oh my
No.
You know what? A-Trap, you coming back downstairs. I'm going. I can't sit downstairs with this thing no more. I'm through. Whenever he run me out of downstairs, they'll let you know, boy.
Him downstairs.
I was off for a week, and this is what
I don't want to be associated with
oh, wow. Really? This is what we're doing? Wow.
But yeah, man. But you know what, Wilkes, though? You know what was dope about it? Like we're mentioning, just to show you, we were just speaking spirituality versus science, right?
Right.
The beautiful part about this, Stan Lee showed up in the middle of the 60s, creates helped them. He puts out Black Panther because Black Panther was initially by a black man,
right,
who put it out.
Right.
And Stan Lee put him out there. Okay. Right. There's a few other. He got Power Man, aka Luke Cage, so forth and so on. And
definitely Luke Cage. Yeah.
Yeah. Then you make the mutants about the brothers because we're better than most, physically and mentally superior to most.
Right.
So he's championing the black civil rights movement, right?
Yeah.
He gets away from it. 30 years later, the Black Power movement a black man saves his behind.
Right.
Wesley Snipes,
produces
Blade comes along, and it saves Marvel from bankruptcy.
Because that movie was banking on if they go bankrupt and sell all of it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. That showed that Marvel could make their own movies.
Yep.
Marvel wasn't,
and they made 3 of
their
them.
own movies at that point. Yeah, Blade saved it. Yeah.
Speaking of Blade, have we heard whether it didn't? Who they
got
say
delayed?
They was gonna do? Huh?
I heard it got delayed because of the director or producer.
Yeah, it got delayed because of the director.
I can't remember who they.
Ali.
Okay, that's right.
Mahershala Ali.
That's
okay,
right.
yeah.
Mahershala Ali. Yeah.
Well, so I think whenever they release it, I think it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be probably as big as the Black Panther.
So since we're talking about Marvel and their properties, how about the trouble that the guy who plays Ant-Man is in right now in the news?
Oh, he cleared his name today.
Did it?
What happened?
I posted it in the group. The one woman. Go ahead.
Jonathan Majors.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors is who we're talking about. Who again? Creed 3, Hot and Heavy out there. A couple other roles. Ant-Man, obviously. So yeah, it looks like he cleared his name. She recanted. Is that what you're talking about?
That one messed me up, man. Because I didn't hear about that one. Yeah, it came out over the weekend. I mean, this dude is on everything.
Well, isn't that what happens once you start gaining
exactly
traction?
That's the point. I'm like, this can't be true, man. He's at the peak of his career right now, and this story comes out.
He was the same way.
Benita said.
She said she's gonna start wearing more CPAP masks.
Wearing a CPAP mask.
And make sure you're using distilled water in it too.
Yes, distilled water. Don't put
that tap water in there.
Yeah. Spiders can get under a CPAP mask.
I heard that was a myth. He was running for president, and all of a sudden, these people started coming out of the woodwork.
You know what's crazy? Think about it, man. Jonathan Majors, he's the youngest superstar we've seen since Denzel Washington.
Yeah,
because most of Luke Cage is close to 40 or in his 40. Michael B is 38, 39 years old. Everybody's close to 40 when they take off. Jonathan is 33 years old, which is still up there, but he has a lot of time, right?
Yeah.
The last person to break through like that was Nate Parker. And what did they do when Nate Parker started taking off? He put out Birth of a Nation.
Right.
And next thing you know, you start hearing about a rape case that he was exonerated from in college.
It's the old Benz guy from the FBI. It's one of those It's that.
J. Edgar.
J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, J. Edgar Hoover playbook.
Can't let you get nowhere.
It's like we can't let you get no traction. We can't let them come together. We can't let them form a plan against us. They'll overthrow us. Yeah, we don't want to overthrow you.
Even though we don't even care. We don't even care about y'all.
So leave us alone.
Jonathan Majors has a tendency on some of his projects, like obviously being in The Harder They Fall. He tends to seem like he with the culture, man. Now unfortunately for him, and the reason why some folks took this and ran with it is because there have been rumblings out there before. Now again, that doesn't mean that they're true by any stretch of the imagination, because we've seen how you can systematically take a joker down, and that's in the playbook. Leaks and rumors 6 months before we gonna need them, a year before we gonna need them.
Right.
And one of the things, we kind of tease, a pastor that Ben and I used to have, but one of the things that he used to say that was on point is the enemy is patient.
Oh, very
patient.
Yeah, boy.
He's patient.
He gonna wait.
He's patient.
Gonna wait.
He ain't trying. He ain't got to take you out today. Shit, I got time.
Why should the enemy hasten? Why?
You need to be hastening to the throne. He ain't got to hasten.
Right. Why should I hasten?
He just waiting on you to slip up.
And hey, when we was in the choir, Ben used to sing that part hard, y'all. I'll hasten. Oh, he used to sing that part hard.
Why should the enemy hasten? No, I don't need to hasten.
I used to say all the parts hard instead of the high notes. Then you just.
that's one of those. It's like my grandfather being patient. Oh, okay, you gonna let your mouth overload your behind now.
Your mom would think,
I'll be right there ready.
Yeah. Oh, you thought you was going to sleep, huh?
Right.
Yeah, I still got this belt for you.
Come on now.
All right. I wanted to point out two things. We kind of rounding out. Julia Louis-Dreyfus. What a wild addition, but she did her thing like she always.
She was in the. If you watch the Winter Soldier and the Falcon, that's where she appeared.
Yeah.
She appeared in there, and her character is true to the comic book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's why I said from like You People to Veep to Seinfeld. I mean, that lady is just. I mean,
she bad.
Adventures of what was that? Christine.
Yeah, Adventures of Christine, I think, wasn't it? She's always just. She's like that Tina Fey kind of. You know what you're gonna get. She's not gonna stray away from that.
Yeah. But I don't think Tina Fey can hold a candle to it, to be perfectly honest with you.
Oh no, I don't think so. I think they just have that same delivery as far as they're gonna stay true to who they are as a comedian, an actor, or whatever. But Dreyfus, she's surpassed.
So I wonder if Chad Boseman's estate is getting revenue for this NIL in this movie. Name, image, and likeness.
You should.
I would think so. Yeah,
because he actually, when you look for the cast of Wakanda Forever, he actually is listed as a cast member.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, because he was in it. I mean, they had him at the beginning. They had moments where they were reminiscing. So
yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, in essence, they are here on his back to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, absolutely.
Because the right thing to do would be
Yeah, he helped with the language. He helped with costume design, the initial costume design. He helped a lot in this movie, so I'm sure they is. I didn't even think about that, but I'm sure they are.
Yeah. And then the introduction of Ironheart, which she held her own. I don't remember seeing her in previous films.
No, this would be the first.
Yeah, when she came on screen, she held her own against some heavy hitters. So I definitely wanted to give her some respect, which also opens up the door to more storylines, obviously.
And of course, like anything, when she was introduced being a girl and being black, there was some pushback.
Of course.
I mean, but her last name Williams, she's from Chicago.
Yeah. Right on.
But she did a great job. Added some young flair to it. You know, they had the back and forth between her and Okoye, so that added a different element. All right.
Look at you. How you gonna come out here all ashy? She told her, "Look at your head. How you
Oh,
gonna come
yeah.
out here?"
I told you.
I love that, man. That brought the
Yeah.
human element to it,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
A lot of people got upset with that.
Shout out to her because she's in the Walking Dead, so she's one of definitely the Walking Dead alumni. So
She made that.
Y'all know a
that
lot of black
series.
women got angry with that, and when M'Baku called her a bald headed, he was like, "Shut your bald headed."
of course, yeah, that was the thing in the 90s.
I don't know why. I mean, it's like it's more.
Hey, some
real
women
to
can rock
what-
that ball, baby.
you know, I mean, it's like it's more real to our conversation. I don't know if y'all seen the there's a little TikTok video or reel out that you can tell it's a family at a family gathering or whatnot, and one of the brothers or cousins or whatever is smelling like weed. So one of the black chicks said, "Get out of here! That smoke getting all in my hair." And he said, "Take it off." That's the kind of stuff, and people just crack up laughing. It's like that's who we are, and people don't understand that when I'm capping on you, when I'm clowning with you, it's the people who I cap on the most are the people I care about the most. It's just that's just what it is. So if I'm not talking about you, we got a problem.
I mean, look at
If
me.
I'm talking about you, that means we ace, we cool.
Yeah. And me and my biscuit shaming. Sorry. I apologize. Hey, I was low key for my vacation, but I was busy. I made a blueberry cheesecake, and I did some other thing, homemade spaghetti meatballs down to the sauce. But I was busy.
That was that one. Didn't you make that big ass meatball? Didn't I see you post that? Was that something else I saw?
No,
that wasn't you. Okay.
No, that may have been another. That may have been somebody
posted a big ass meatball. It was just one big meatball.
No, that wasn't me.
Over a whole bunch of spaghetti, and it looks so good, man.
But there is a restaurant that does that. I mean, you can do it homemade too, but there's a restaurant that sells them like that.
Yeah,
it's like one. It's a family plate, but the meatball's like that big.
Yeah,
and it's like a platter, like spaghetti.
Right.
It's just it's huge.
All right, well, let's go ahead and get to some.
So for you big ball lovers out there, holla at you, boy.
Nikki Talokan. I love it. Wakanda forever, baby. I love it.
All right,
Bombay.
Let's go to Mayhem.
There you go. Dez Bryant didn't make this up.
Yeah, that was yes.
That was a catch.
Take it off and put it on the dresser.
All right.
Right.
I mean, I have to say, I have to give it 4.5 mics.
Okay.
I mean, there was just too many times where, I felt like there were messages to black women that have lost young kings, even with the Woman King. I felt like anytime that camera would hold right there, that camera was radiating great acting, but it was radiating the ancestors. It was radiating efforts of the black community trying to continue to push and stake our claim for what's rightfully ours. There was just too many. There was just, to me, when I watch it, I don't know if that's for anybody else, but I guess sometimes I go to that place in my mind because I see those subtle nuances, and it's like that camera is holding there way too long not to send a message, not to soak this up.
Right.
And real quick, I just want to say this. I don't know if anybody caught this last week on The Woman King, and I was telling Ben this, but at the end of that movie, they said Breonna Taylor's name. I don't know if anybody caught that when she was paying reverence to the fallen soldiers. They said Breonna at the end of that movie.
Wow.
So there was a tribute.
Yeah.
There was a tribute to her. So that's why I said, and when I gave you guys my rating before I finished that movie, I was picking up those things before I could finish it. It was like I saw those. Hey, we know you've lost kings to police brutality. Right. We know you've lost women to police brutality. We've lost black women to ridiculous things, But when I see black people in these movies that are reaching back to the motherland, reaching back to the ancestors, there is too much significance there that I'm picking up when they're in, like I said, when they're in those outfits And when they're learning those dances and they're learning how to fight like those warriors, there's too much. I wouldn't be surprised if there's behind the scenes where they maybe have a moment and they're just tearful. They're just joyful because, I mean, there's just something there that just bridges you back to that moment. So,
and obviously with Chadwick Boseman, you good. With Chadwick Boseman not being there too, I'm sure there was a lot of moments.
Oh gosh, I can't imagine the conversations and the tears shared.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd love to be on set. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So, did your rating change? Were you always at a 4.5? Or
no, actually, I wasn't. And I'm sorry. I know you guys mentioned this also last week. Yeah. I was going to give it a 4 but with my second watching, and because I have to honestly say, I watched it hastily. Like I watched it quickly. Like, oh, this is a Marvel movie. Oh, this is Namor. Blah blah blah. This is what's going on. But when you go back and you catch it again, it's like, okay. They're fighting like these African warriors. They're wearing these garbs. They're wearing these outfits. They even reached out to one of the tribes. Maybe you can help me. That wore the clay in their hair. They showed her that's a real tribe. They have their hair like that, covered in that clay.
Oh yeah,
so those little things like that. I mean, they definitely want to represent. And the Mayans, little fret for them. I mean, you want to represent that nation as well, that of people. It's like, yeah. So yeah, it did change. My second watch through it changed.
All right, A-Trap.
Same with Wilkes. I stay even at 4.5. I was feeling the ancestors. I was feeling the. You guys have heard me mention. Dog mentioned it earlier. The matriarchy instead of a patriarchy system that creates the king, that announces the king, that puts forward the king. You saw that again in this movie. It was just so many instances in which our culture, our spirituality, our existence is being affirmed in these two movies. Woman, Queen. I didn't even know about the Breonna Taylor thing. I'm gonna have to watch that again. And like Wilkes mentioned, the rites of passages. People didn't even pick. Most people don't even pay attention to that. We focus too much on what's not right, and instead of like, okay, this wasn't factually true, but what it is it's called a breadcrumb, homeboy, homegirl. With your woke ass.
Right.
Breadcrumb. Understand. I can't put. That's why, remember we were talking about this weeks ago, and I said, man, I don't want to see any more biopics. I want to see bioseries because you cannot put 65, 70, 80 years of a person's life, or even 35, 40 years of a person's life in 90 minutes, or even 3.5 hours. So I really appreciated it. It's right in my wheelhouse, and it just further enhances your ability to grasp what is ours and stop overlooking what is.
I just want to ask A-Trap this question, and maybe Doc caught it too, but did you hear the name that they used for the queen, for Angela Bassett's character? Her dad was Lumumba.
Yeah.
Is that Patrice Lumumba?
Patrice Lumumba.
Lumumba, yeah. He was he was pretty much the catalyst into the independence of Congo. Was that correct?
Yes. That's what I thought. Patrice Lumumba, he was assassinated shortly before Brother Minister Malcolm.
Yes. Because he was fighting for the independence from is it Belgium? No, not Belgium.
Belgium, and what people don't understand about our great ancestor Patrice Lumumba, he, like my man who was running Libya, was trying to unite the entire diaspora. He was trying to create a united continent of Africa.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons he's no longer here with us, because he was parading Brother Minister Malcolm around the continent.
Yeah.
Right. So yes, indeed. I caught that.
Yeah.
So Patrice Lumumba, he related to Patrice Russia, ain't he?
Forget me nots. Yes.
Because you can't forget him. Yeah.
You can't forget him. The best forget me nots ever.
Shaka said, name Riri and character created by a white comic writer. Riri came from singer Rihanna and last name Williams. Origins, Venus and Serena Williams. The character was created. They were so popular.
That's good. Good nugget, Shaka. We appreciate you, man.
For real.
Nice.
Like Master Flex.
Shaka strong.
Yeah.
Shaka strong. Shaka strong.
Another Chicago native.
Yep. Chicago heavy in the building. All right, Doc.
So before I give my rating, A-Trap, did yours change or was it at a 4.5?
It was at a.
Stay.
I didn't want to give it a 5. I refused to give it a 5. Not that it wasn't a 5. I just I ain't getting it a 5.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
But I
so
really want to
mine.
give. For the record, I want to give it a 5.
Okay, gotcha. That's good. So what's up? Mine was a. Does that go to
I think that's Theodora.
Theodore? That's okay. All right. Blue Streak. So mine started at a 4, but it moved to a 4.5 after the show because again, I had a lot of the cultural influences and stuff like that, but y'all brought out so many more that it caused me to raise mine to a 4.5. So that's 3 4.5s. Now I should point out, because I generally try to do so during my mic rating, is that IMDb gave it 6.7 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes gave it a very good score of 84%. Metacritic 67%, and 82% of Google users liked it as well. Nice. So you don't think I'm so crazy, Golden? Talking about no, it's Theodora. Hey, I thought you was with me too.
I'll say mine started off as a 4.5, and I'm gonna keep it at a 4.5. I don't. I'm kind of agreeing with A-Trap. I don't think it's a 5. I think obviously we can make it a 5, but I think 4.5. I think is a solid, solid rating. And to answer the question, was it better than the first Black Panther? And I'm going to say yes, because I think it introduced a new character, but also, it paid respect to Chadwick Boseman, and they did a great job. They did a great job from beginning to end.
I want to be the last to answer if it's better. Wilkes, you think it was better or no?
You know what? The funny thing is, as Ben was speaking, I'm going to say yes, because I feel like the first Black Panther, they were finding themselves. I think they were. I think they threw something at the wall. Like, this is what we got. I think we've got something here. If it has a great reception, which it already did before it even came out, people were going insane. People were like, we're going to dress up to go watch this. And now that it's like, it's on fire, you come with a second one and you kind of raise the bar again. Then unfortunately, you've lost one of your comrades, but yet you still honor him. And it's like, you're on to something now. So yeah, I think the second one was better than the first one. I felt like when they were doing the first one, they knew they were on to something, but they were hoping that, okay, if we can keep it right here, no telling what the rest of the way will be. So I think.
Hey, Trap, you think this one was better?
I'm trying to avoid sounding like a jerk. I refuse to do it that way. I don't do it that way. Like,
that's right. No, that's what's up. So then I'm gonna let you abstain, and I'm gonna jump right in and say that I don't. There's 2 different ways you can look at better. You can look at it from a technical standpoint, cinematically, and you can look at it from a feelings that it evokes standpoint. So from a feelings that it evokes standpoint, it ain't better. Because Black Panther, the original one, the feelings that Joker evoked, I have not seen in the Black community since we was pissed off together about Roots. Right? Absolutely. I mean, you walked out of there feeling like you felt when you was a kid and you watched Rocky. Your ass wanted, you was like, dun, 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 dun. Right. That's how the first Black Panther made you feel. This one didn't make you feel that way necessarily, but cinematically, I think they did find their footing, and it was probably better cinematically, but not in the feelings that it evoked. So with that, I put them as even, to be very honest with you.
Okay.
Absolutely. I can dig it.
And that may have been where I think this is Theodora Blue Streak Freak was going too, where she goes solid 4.5, 4.5. No, I don't think this one was better. So I think, her thought process might have been there as well. And Golden Brooks happens to agree with me. She goes right, dog, so she sees it the same way.
And that first one was a massive hit. You had everybody that went to the movie taking pictures, going like this for kind of forever. I mean, it was, of course, for me, it was an instant classic.
Right. And for me, it was, of course, me being the comic nerd I am sometimes. It was just great to see them introduce Namor also, and it was just like, this is, to me, it was like, oh man, this is awesome. But that first one, yes. I mean, you had people already talking about what they were going to wear before the movie was even out. I mean, it was.
It took over every social media
Yeah, I mean, you had jokers in 7-Eleven, perfect strangers. These just Wakanda forever, nigga.
Yeah.
You didn't even know them.
Yeah. NFL
I mean, you had
fans doing it
Hollywood.
as a celebration. Yeah, people doing it as they got awards. I mean,
you had Chadwick Boseman himself saying, "How many times do people ask you or do Wakanda for?" He was just like, "You don't even." It's a greeting now when I'm in the street when I'm walking around. People literally salute me like it's one of those things where now it is literally part of the culture.
It is.
You know what's crazy?
That's big. That's a big statement right there, Wilkes. And you can think about how special sitcoms and movies and stuff is over the years that actually become woven into the thread of the culture. Remember, we did the review of the Martin reunion, and that's one of the things that they talked about, that this was ingrained into the culture.
Yeah, that's forever.
That's
big.
You can't give it that's giving it a 5. That's giving it a 5. That giving it a 5 ain't. If I tell you in the culture now, that's the 5.
That Wakanda forever is as big as Jesse Owens holds it up.
Sadate, man.
Sadate. Sadate forever.
That's Sadate, man. What is this, man?
Pull out a belt. You just pull out a belt and say Sadate.
Dodging bullets with his hair, man.
Hey, man,
oh, wow.
Yeah. Hey,
wow.
Y'all, when I say Sadate, y'all know what it is.
Crazy.
Golden says that first one was love. It had our culture bonding for a minute. Yeah.
No, absolutely.
And you know what? Like my high school does an alumni cookout every year. And that year they did dashikis. That's the shirt. You have a different shirt every year.
Yeah.
And this year,
my mama used to make dashikis for me and all my uncles and cousins and stuff like that. She used to make them, man.
Oh, that was big for I don't know if there was something that they would celebrate. It wasn't at our church they would do that too, but it wasn't oh gosh, what's the African Christmas?
You serve a black Jesus church or a white Jesus church?
Kwanzaa.
Yeah, Kwanzaa. It wasn't for that. I'm sorry. Let me answer his question. I'm sorry. Get caught up, guys.
What's up,
started asking people that just to throw their ass off. They started talking about church. Wait a minute, you serve a white Jesus church or a black Jesus church?
what color is the picture of Jesus on your wall?
Yeah. White Jesus. Always Pastor Di was on today, so I can ask him, hey, Pastor Di, you got a black Jesus church or a white Jesus church?
And you know what's funny? He did some baptisms last month. And we went to the religious bookstore to get some Bibles for the children. We walked past this one table that had some cartoon Bibles.
Yeah.
And I tapped him. I said, "Who was that white dude?" It was Jesus.
Oh gosh.
I was like, "Who was that white guy?" He was like, "Oh man, stop."
Yeah. Black Panther movie was playing at theaters while Avengers Infinity War debuted. Yeah, right. that movie was in theaters for a long time.
Yeah, it was a big. It came back. It was a big deal. It had a second run. It had a second run.
I actually watched the original Black Panther in a theater in Shreveport, Louisiana, on the boardwalk. Fantastic experience. Yep, sure did.
Wow.
Yeah. Black Panther had people watching it and didn't even know what it was. It was just that, man. This is
it was. Yeah, we came together. I think a lot of us got tired of seeing us as slaves, us as helpers, us as I can't do that. Nah, that's not us. I think we finally seen something that we wanted our kids to see.
Fake Jamaicans and Hostilla got a groove back. Oh, sorry.
Right. Take eggs.
My bad.
No comment.
Dexter was his name.
Sorry.
Saint.
I love you, Angela.
All right. So just to let y'all know, we changing it up a little bit. Normally we would have the title of the movie, but I'm kind of posing a question, in the title. So hope that'll bring, more of a conversation as people who are watching it.
I love it. Yeah,
we changing it up a little bit. Just
that's good. I like it.
All right. It would have been a great surprise for us if Boseman had did this movie and they kept it a secret,
That would have been
that would have went down in history.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Like they've already had it recorded, ready to go.
Yeah. They couldn't because I think he was keeping his illness a secret. So they, probably
They didn't even know.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess I need a copy of the Good Times. Like Jesus.
Me at the rhino.
Yeah.
Looking out of the window.
All right. So coming up next,
We need to do a special episode and go back and just look at, like, spend the week watching maybe an episode a day somewhere and just come back and just talk about the overall impact of Good Times, some stuff, because I was a lot younger whenever I was watching this. And when you think back over Good Times, it had a lot of messages in it, man.
Oh, absolutely. Oh,
I mean, yeah, just in the theme song alone, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we may need to do that, do a special, a FourCast special investigation or some shit. Like
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
don't want to talk about that oppressive program. It showed that black people could never make it out. Oh, my fault.
Just looking out of the window. Hey, let me be around my family and start singing that. When I say everybody gonna be singing it,
Another part of the culture.
Yeah, for real.
Everybody.
For real. That, yeah.
It's for blue. Yes.
I was real grown when I figured out what the hell they were saying now.
Yeah. Cause a bad day when
did y'all see the Dave Chappelle episode when he put the Good Times lyrics on there and saying they sang and nobody knew what
because nobody knew what they were saying. Especially for me, it was
hanging in the child line. Then nobody knows what that was.
Right.
Yeah, because like for me, it was reruns by the time I started watching. But I'm just like, what do they mean by leaking out the window? Like what? Leaking out of the window? What the fuck is leaking out of the window? Oh, gosh.
All right, y'all. So it's throwback time next week, and we're gonna come at y'all with a classic Harlem Nights.
Oh man, go put your toe out there. Put it out there.
Can't wait. I almost don't have to watch this.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Harlem Nights, we're gonna do that one next week.
Part one in life.
Oh man. But you stop shooting that. Yes.
Harlem Nights.
Right.
The prequel to life. Quick went broke.
Good point. All right, what's coming up tomorrow on the End of the Bench?
I need every woman in the United States of America to watch tomorrow. First, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit more. I've been tweaking my program. I've been making phone calls to aldermen and alderwomen, alder people, government officials in Cook County. I'm trying to get a movement started where I'm gonna post. I called 5 aldermen last week, and I'm gonna post their name and phone numbers on my show and say, "Hey, I call these people. They never got back to me. I'm gonna need y'all to call them, so we can start getting them on in front of us and ask them questions. You know, why is my sidewalk, or why is my streets, or why the lights out on my block, right? You know, so forth and so on. And I'm gonna talk about the momnibus bill. This is where I need every woman that if you could do me a favor, grab the link, tell a friend to tune in tomorrow. The mortality rate for women in America is up 60%. The highest it's been since 1965. Meaning, my oldest sister, it was safer for my mother to have my oldest sister than it is for my daughter to have a baby today.
Wow.
And it is a momnibus bill that is coming up in about 3 weeks. Please, James Brown, please call your senator. If you want me to, I will get the number to the House of Representatives and the Senate in DC and just call them and ask I would ask you to have call Raphael and y'all other senator in Texas and say, I need you to back the momnibus bill. We need to get behind this simply because I'll go into detail tomorrow, but one of the facts I want you to understand is this. There are several counties, and when I mean several, I mean more than 10 counties in the state of Georgia that don't have birthing rooms in hospitals and don't have OBGYNs in the county, meaning you get pregnant and you just like it was like it's 1923 or 1823. That's what those are the conditions some women are living in. Again, the birth when I get y'all these numbers tomorrow, it is insane. It is absolutely positively insane. And I'm gonna talk about circuit court appeals to circuit court shot down HB 7. And HB 7 is the anti-gay, anti-woke bill. But we need to talk about that because the circuit court shot it down, said due to the 15th Amendment, which guarantees you equal exposure to everything. They shot it down. But I'll tell you why, tomorrow I'll tell you why it might be too little too late. So tune in tomorrow. I mean, if you never ask anybody what tune in to my show ever again, have them tune in tomorrow. For everybody who has a mother, everybody who has a aunt, everybody who has a girl cousin, a niece, all of us have mothers.
That's everybody.
We need, right.
Tune in.
Every woman that you know needs to tune in tomorrow because their lives are literally in danger. I'm gonna end it with this. They call these, they no longer call it developed countries or third world countries. They say of the richest countries, right? This is the most dangerous place on earth to have a baby. The United States of America.
Wow.
And why everybody worried about, you can't have an abortion. Okay, I'm gonna have this baby, and then I'm gonna die on the table. And people think it's just the women dying. It's the children dying as well.
Yeah.
So the omnibus bill is to provide money for OBGYNs, for doulas, and midwives as well. You may not think a doula or a midwife is important, but a doula and a midwife is like having your best friend in the delivery room. Takes down the anxiety, takes down the what is the one, I can't think of the damn cortisol. Takes down your cortisol rates, which means the lady is more likely gonna live. So we need to get this bill passed. I need, like I said, if don't nobody ever tune, if you don't ever tune in HRAP tomorrow, please have them tune in tomorrow. Then you ain't never got to tune in again. But hopefully you will continue to tune in. But please, James Brown, please tune in to the end of the bench tomorrow. And as under my avatar says, under my name, it says everything. If you put my name up, you'll see 3 symbols that I put up, and it says everything that I'm trying to do in regards to my programming and things of that nature. Because
and you can see it scrolling down at the bottom end of the bench media, or if you just type in end of the bench, you'll find it there. Venita, 6 p.m. tomorrow Central. So make sure to check that out. All right, what's coming up tomorrow on Queen 3 and King?
Tomorrow on Queen 3 and King, we talk about the participation playbook. This lady actually trained me, or trained our company, the managers, the leaders of our company, our organization, when I was still in corporate America. And she made such an impact on me. I ran across her on Indeed the other day, and we kind of started talking and stuff. And I'm like, I got to have you on the show. Because what she's talking about in terms of trying, because again, we're talking about leaders and how leaders get those that follow in them to engage. And I'm like, through conversation, and I'm like, well, everybody who's in a relationship, whether it be platonic, familial, romantic, they need to talk to folks, right? So how are we going to have more meaningful conversations? So she's strong, and she's got a spiritual look at this too, even though she's in corporate America. So again, Molly Brazil, the participation playbook, it ought to be fascinating. We actually met on a video conference last Friday in prep for the show, and no guest has ever asked me to prep like she has, because she wants to know, what do you hope to accomplish for your viewers? Right. What's your agenda? What do you want me to, that kind of deal. So it ought to be fantastic tomorrow on Queen 3 and King.
Definitely.
Put that on the screen, please, man, for Venita.
Yeah.
And I want to apologize. I thought he said Naughty Brazil. Sorry.
Molly Brazil.
I'm sorry.
But if you got careful when you type it in, you're going to end up somewhere you don't want to end up on the website.
So
I do that
there
all
you
the
go,
time.
Anita. you type that in on purpose.
Yeah, I typed that in on purpose. Hummers.com.
Hey, Trev, this spirit. All right. So we'll be
Movies.
back. We'll be back next week. Make sure to check out End of the Bench, Queen, Theory, and King. All of the content on the networks you're seeing scrolling down.
Hurry up,
BSC
man.
TV
Talk
Live.
quicker. I
Check out
gotta
our
go
Roku.
pee. Hell.
BSCnetwork.com, BSC TV on Roku. If you got a Roku TV or device.
So that man speaking like he had a baptismal. Can we speed it up, please? Can we speed it up, please?
You talking that plate? You talking like that passer after the plate got passed.
Yeah, that Gatorade coming after me, man.
Man, Gatorade don't play, man.
All
Gatorade
right,
like
all right,
iced tea,
A-Trap.
man.
All right, close this out, A-Trap.
Yeah, I'm gonna change it up a little bit today. I'm gonna do the Reggie O'Shea Dream Your Dreams, Dream Your Dreams and Man Up and Woman Up. Live your dreams. His life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in technicolor and surround sound. And since we did Wakanda Forever and we did Woman King last week, I'm gonna close out with an African proverb. If you want to go somewhere, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
I heard that.
Salute.
I heard that.
Go with somebody. Excuse me. If you want to go somewhere, go alone. If you want to go far, go with someone.
That's what's up. I love it.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
All right, Blue
All right,
Streak. We'll
y'all.
see you tomorrow.